You can access the entire episode now on our website, forbiddenknowledge.news, Rokfin, Rumble, and all podcast platforms. This episode will be a live-action roleplay in a sense. We will be exploring a theoretical possibility. Now, I've been doing my psilocybin vision quests again for the past couple of months, and the experiences have once again become extremely profound. It's as if the mushrooms are trying to tell me a story that continues where it left off in the previous experience. Information on top of information, almost as if there's some sort of transmission in the plant medicines. Maybe not just the plant medicines, maybe nature. A transmission with one simple overall message, even kind of like a SOS. And I think we've all received this transmission in one way or another, but our ego, our emotions, dogma, childhood experiences, etc., cause the transmission to be misunderstood. Now, Frank has been receiving this message for a while, and we're in the process of deciphering his experiences and stories. And I'm not going to completely discuss my latest experiences yet. I'm in a kind of data collection process right now. And that also includes more plant medicine experiences to further decipher the message. But I will say this. I am getting the exact same message and having very similar experiences to Frank and other folks. And slap me and call me Karen if we aren't going to try and get to the bottom of this shit. Because this is everything, folks. This really is everything. I always wanted to know what was really going on in this reality. And I've been blessed with answers recently. And so has Frankie. And so have a few others that we are in correspondence with. But again, this is just a live action roleplay today. What if there's a transmission in not only plant medicines, maybe in nature? And if so, what has this transmission been trying to tell us forever? Now, for me, I don't know, I know about you because we talked about it, Frankie, but from my experiences, they started out as very mystical, spiritual experiences, you know, kind of like this underlying feeling, oh, you're special. You have a job to do. You've been sent here. You're a starseed. All these, you know, beautiful mystical messages that people get. Some people take those messages and they start cults. But some people, you know, they're able to decipher it a little bit better. But for you, when did you have a complete understanding of everything? It seems like it was pretty quick after some very short experiences.
That little intro there was amazing. If you want to be super serious about it, though, a lot of us are just grabbed from a moment in time, unexpectedly, 100% unaware. There's a group of us that are just unaware, and then plucked immediately, shown the whole thing, and then somehow you're supposed to register this because they know what they're showing you. So they know what you can handle. I'm learning more now. I'm 8 years into this. I'm learning more now about my personal self on why other people's experiences with the plant medicines are mystical and beautiful, and mine are like that too. There's so much beauty, so much mystical, fun stuff. However, when you look at the whole thing and then you have a contract to do certain jobs here, and you find out that the amnesia was it's what you get as a human in the human experience. However, the ones in charge have been removing the amnesia for the bodies they're building and putting their people in, their beings, I'm going to say for now, beings. This is not just people like humans. They're just a human flesh suit. And then we're in here and they're reading our mind. They're reading our mind, right? So now I'm a dude from the Bronx. I'm on tour. And I'm like, wait, who's reading our minds? And they're like, well, if you knew what was going on, if your human knew, they would know. Which is why no one is supposed to remember. But then all of a sudden, blip, there you are. Now you do get a feeling of, I'll tell you a few things with the dogma. and I grew up Catholic. I'm not in any way religious. I just don't care. It's just not. It's not groovy.
Right.
I was like, did Jesus go through this? Like, that was one of the first thoughts, because I'm getting thrown into it. It was like being thrown in a pit, and they're like, deal with it and look, but I'm right here if you need a hug. Because I would cry. I would burst into tears and go, what's happening? But after a few times this way, they asked me, what do you want, Frank? Like, is Frankie, what are you feeling today? And I go, well, I don't want to leave my body no more and see monsters and shit. Like, I'm tired of this for a moment. Like, I didn't know that to call it integration. So I was integrating my experiences, but I was doing so much. Ayahuasca, when you go away to do it, let's say to Peru or something, and you take the time, you're doing it for almost 2 weeks. Take like a little break in between. Some people do 7 days or 5 days and 3 days. That's great. If you want to learn what's going on, I learned that I was a shaman. So make it, now drink it. Right? It's like, look what I made. It's like, yeah, that's great. Drink it.
Yeah.
Come in. So I'm like, listen, I'm tired of coming in and then having to go there. Isn't the experience me here, eyes open, just like this, eyes open? What do I do in the flesh suit with this stuff rolling around? Because you keep saying it's real, and I'm seeing it that it's real. I'm there, but I'm not sitting in Frank. Like, my body's out. I'm not in my body. So I should be in my body integrating this, visually seeing what's around us. I got a thunderous applause from ayahuasca and all constituents involved. They threw me back into my body and said, open your eyes. And when I did, everyone was standing there. There was no, it was like, who do you want? Here's Shiva, who's been with me from day one. I have this intense connection to these Hindu deities that are just really good people. They're like us in the ascended, right? There's like all these weird hierarchies with them. And he's been there from day one. So I get Shiva, Kali, Ganesha. But I grew up with Space Jesus. Oh, you want Space Jesus? He's right there. He's literally looking right at you. Look, he's right there. And everyone, as you see them, as I saw them surrounding me, it was like the different levels and densities or dimensions, whatever, that they're in, watching you. So like Space Jesus is like looking at me from the floor. Like he's standing next to me, looking right at me like, hello. And I'm like, wow, that's cool. He's right there. Shiva's like up on a thing over here with Lakshmi floating. And you're like, oh, so you guys aren't in the same spot. You're watching from a higher zone just because that's where you're at right now. Whereas Space Jesus is trying to connect with you right now on the planet. Like some of these dudes are walking around or in ships right above us that we're not seeing, because as soon as our visual cues kick in, your eyes, in other words, see more light. Once that goes on, you're going to see them, because we're lifting into the higher density. If you're doing the work on the inside, you start reflecting it on the outside. In other words, layers. They're like windshields that are in front of you that you're not aware of. All right, better. You go to the eye doctor and you're like, I want to get glasses. And he puts that machine over your face and goes, 1 or 2. 1 or 2 or 3. Okay, everybody's had that done that has glasses. Okay, so when he does that, there's like a blurry image, and then click, and it's clear. And you're like, wait, is that 1 or 2? Click. And you're getting your vision in check. Okay, that's what's going on when you do plant medicines and you're preparing and you're doing the hard work and you're healing the trauma. It's like they pull the windshield away that was blurry on one layer, because that's the work you did today.
Now, maybe you could speak to this, because you mentioned something that perked up my ear, that we are being allowed to remember more somehow. And I get this distinct feeling that through these recent experiences that either there's been some kind of upgrade to my physical avatar to where I'm allowed to remember, or something is happening during these experiences